I'm Lauren Northridge from Perkins School for the Blind. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar, Using All the Senses to Explore, our 10th installment in our Learning with Blindness series. These webinars look at each of the components of the expanded core curriculum. Our hope is to help your child become more independent and to help you advocate for your child's needs. I'm excited to welcome everyone here today. We have people joining us from Chicago, Connecticut, Massachusetts and Colorado, as well as other countries. We have parents of toddlers through young adults and educators and professionals. This webinar will run approximately 60 minutes with 45 minutes for the presentation, at which time we'll stop and give the last 15 minutes for your questions. We encourage you to ask questions as they occur to you throughout the webinar in the chat window. You'll have to use your Google account to sign in. If you prefer not to use the chat window, you can email me your questions directly at laura.northridge@perkins.org. We'll address all questions at the end. This event is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be emailed to you and will be available on Perkins' website. We'll also send you a copy of the PowerPoint presentation. It's my pleasure to introduce today's presenter, Donna Duggan Edwards. Donna has worked at Perkins School for the Blind in various capacities for more than 30 years and is currently the Low Vision Clinic Liaison for both the Early Learning Center and the lower school. Previously, she completed Perkins Teacher Trainee Program while working in the secondary program and preschool, and worked as an orientation and mobility specialist in the lower school. Donna is a certified teacher of the visually impaired and as well as a certified orientation mobility specialist. She has taught courses at Boston College and the University of Massachusetts at Boston. She is married and has 2 teenage sons. Thank you for joining us for this webinar, Using All the Senses to Explore. Donna, please begin.
Hi everyone. I'm really excited to be here and share some of my thoughts, knowing that out on the web, if you do a search, there are many really good resources that you can turn to for the same topic. I'll be incorporating some of them today, along with my own thoughts, thinking in terms of you as a viewer, who are parents in particular, and some low-cost, low-tech ways that you can use the senses to help your child, your son or your daughter, succeed to become as independent as is possible for your situation. So that being said, I know that you also have access to technology, to other things, to other sources that will complement what we talk about today, and you will be coming into this with your experiences. So keep that in mind as I talk about the senses and how to integrate the senses, how to make them efficient, knowing that as I talk, your priority needs to be safety. Everything that I bring in today, think safety first and then go from there. So I'll be repeating myself, but in the whole period that we're together, just remember safety is first with all sensory input. So that being said, if you look at the first page of this webinar PowerPoint presentation, it depicts a person reading Braille, a sense that is paramount to visually impaired and is used in things like Braille. So we're going to break down each sense of the 5 common senses and talk about them a little bit and then incorporate from there. So when you're thinking of sensory efficiency and using your senses, in the Perkins curriculum, they talk about that being part of the ECC, the Expanded Core Curriculum. Along with that, it talks about using all the senses to access information and communication in an efficient manner. Along with that is a progression of skill development from infancy through adulthood. Think simple to complex. It goes from when you bring your infant into the world up through their entire adulthood, and it is a constant progression. Sensory efficiency is evolving, just like each of you sitting there today. You probably chose an area to watch this webinar in your home or your office where you feel comfortable. You're sitting in a chair you like. You might have a cup of coffee in front of you. You have the computer in a position that works for you. You are using your senses in the most efficient manner to be able to be part of this webinar today. Think about that from your son or your daughter's perspective as I go through some of the thoughts that I have for sensory efficiency. And for me, I'm using the paper copy of my webinar while you are able to go through the PowerPoint on your computer, because for me, this is an efficient, safe manner to share with you today. Along with that, you need to think, okay, this is a perfect time of year to do it. You're probably in your house, and being in Boston, it's a little chilly outside today. Not sure where you are, but think in terms of the season that's here. And for America, that means Thanksgiving is coming up, Halloween is just passed. It presents a multitude of sensory opportunities that you can bring in the way that works for you and your family. Think pumpkin. You probably think big, huge pumpkin. You can go to a pumpkin patch. You can climb on a big pumpkin. So if I hold up a pumpkin, you already were anticipating what I might need to do to be able to pick this up. It's got a stem, it's an orange color on the bulk of the pumpkin, it's got ridges that I can feel, and it's a little bit heavy. But once you have some concept of pumpkin, you can also go to other opportunities to generalize and think simple to complex. What's the simple way to present this sensory input to my son or my daughter, and then generalize it? Go a little bit more complex. I have two here. One is a real pumpkin that is small, one is plastic. And I'm not sure viewing it if you're able to tell the difference, but the one on my right is plastic. So I'm going from simple, a basic pumpkin that is able to be moved, to a little bit more complex, because this is typically out of the realm of what you would consider a pumpkin. So I'm generalizing the sensory input, going simple to complex for this situation where you're viewing me today. Add to that, you could cut this pumpkin open. You could reach inside. You could feel the inside of the pumpkin. You could take the seeds out. You could cook them. You could try to eat them. You can do a variety of sensory input to allow for sensory efficiency just with the concept of a pumpkin at this time of year, which is quite appropriate, and they're probably doing it in school. So you could try to do it in tandem, you could try to do something the same, or generalize it to make the sensory efficiency more independent. That being said, I want to take a thought about the 5 common senses, the 5 traditional senses. Now, watching a webcam or a webinar today, you're using your vision, which is one of the 5 common senses. It's the ability to see things with your eye or vision. What I would love to have you do, for those of you who have vision, is to close your eyes while I talk about the next sense. And that next sense would be hearing. Hearing is the ability to hear things, or audition, auditory. So if you did close your eyes, you were hearing me, you were using that sense. So you're going to open your eyes again, and you'll try to incorporate all the senses you have available to you during this webinar. And the next one of the 5 traditionals that I listed is taste. The ability to taste things using your mouth, using gustation or gustatory is another term that is sometimes used for the sense of taste. The 4th sense of the traditional senses is smell. And with smell, you have the ability to detect things with your nose, olfactory, old-fashioned. You use smell to tell you a variety of things around you, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go forward in the webinar. And then the final sense of the traditional senses that I put down on this sheet is touch. Not because it's the least important, but possibly because it's the most important. With touch, the ability to perceive things through pressure receptors or tactile sense, the mechanoreception ability, and for visually impaired, touch can become paramount. And touch can be anywhere on your body. It can be the use of your fingers for reading Braille, like in that first picture, but it can also be receiving information from you, especially you as a parent, through hugs, through kisses, through touch, through being able to feel on whatever part of the body is involved in that moment and be able to incorporate that information and use it efficiently. So that's the 5 traditional senses, kind of separated out. But please know that with sensory efficiency, separating out your senses is incredibly difficult. Much like with the pumpkins, when I picked it up, I was feeling it, I was moving it, I was seeing it. I was taking in all of that information at once. So you may want to think simple, think separate senses, but you need to know that as you're doing each of these things, the person that you are with, the child that you are with, your son or your daughter, is getting more than just that one sensory input and trying to efficiently incorporate all of that to be able to use that information to their benefit. So that being said, I wanted to take another look at some things a little bit more closely, thinking in terms of the 5 senses. And if you look at the picture that's on the PowerPoint, it depicts someone sitting in a wheelchair, and I'm going to call that someone the student, assuming that the person with him is likely his teacher. If you look at that, there is a lot of sensory information going on here. If you look at the back of the picture, it looks like this student is in a wheelchair because of the handles that I see there. So I'm going to assume that this student is positioned in a way that is comfortable for them. I'm going to assume that comfort, physical comfort, is at a level that works for this student. If you look, the teacher would be to the student's left. That could be because they see better on the left side. It could be because they hear better on the left side. Or it could just be because of physically in that room at that moment, that's what works the best for positioning. All things to take into account because you want to start simple to complex. You want to think, okay, I should probably go to the side that will see the information I'm presenting, or the side that will be able to hear and take in the information that I am talking about. That being said, you need to consider to the complex end of it, where you want to make sure that they know that there's more in the world around them than just the side that might see better or the side that might hear better. So you want to work on it for success in the beginning and then generalize from there using all the senses that you can. So let's take a look now at the next PowerPoint slide. And on that next slide, I depicted vision. And I put it here with some other information that I'll talk about, because in terms of a webinar, vision is the best sense to be able to highlight. But I want you to think about what I'm saying and how I'm highlighting certain things, and take that yourself and in your situation into the other senses that could be getting input in similar ways. So let's take a look at this slide. I put a black background on purpose, because when you think of visual input, a lot of people need to consider contrast and glare. And if you look at that slide, I put the word vision in the top left in yellow on that black background. That is often a preferred contrast and something to think about. Would yellow on black be a good choice? Or would black on yellow be a good choice? For some people, the black background is nice because you get less glare than you might if the background stayed white like previous slides in this PowerPoint itself. So let's think about that as we go forward, and underneath the word vision, I put the word contrast. I put it in green in a red rectangle, still surrounded by that black background. You watching this PowerPoint may think, ooh, I don't like that. Or, ooh, that makes me think of Christmas, I like that. It's a personal preference, but it's also something you should consider as you're looking through this whole PowerPoint and whole webinar experience. What worked for me Should I try that with my son or my daughter, or do I think they wouldn't like that? But remember again, look at it from their perspective, because that's the one that's going to matter for sensory efficiency. If you look to the side of the word contrast, I have the word glare. It's in yellow, surrounded by a white rectangle, and it may be producing glare and make it difficult for you to read that word. And that's what I meant when I said the black background. The black background may take away some of the reflection from the room that you're in, however your lighting is in that room. And then when I introduce something in yellow on white, it may make it difficult to read. So you're making the task more difficult than you might need to. But again, personal preference, and think about the vision that your child has and how they use it. If you look under the word contrast, I put the word lighting. Lighting is really important, and I've already mentioned it. In this room, we have some special lighting set up so that you might be able to see me better and focus on me better. Think about that when you're working with your child. The type of lighting you pick, maybe you want to consider full spectrum. That's said to depict daylight, which is often a preferred lighting scenario. You can get a full spectrum light anywhere. You can find them online, you can find them in stores. But also you need to think about whatever type of lighting you have, the placement of it. Is the lighting behind so that it would produce a shadow on whatever surface I might be looking at in front of me? Or should I put it to the side? And which side would be better? Lighting is really important to consider and should never be ignored. If you look to the side of lighting, I put the word visual clutter, and I created it on this screen. I didn't make it easy for you looking at this screen to be able to figure out what I'm asking you to find. Visual clutter matters. You want to focus on the target, what you want to be seen, or heard, or felt. You want to focus on that and get clutter out of the way. So if I had put that word clutter, visual clutter, on a black background by itself, I would have avoided all that other visual clutter produced on this screen and made it easier for you as someone sharing today with us to be able to focus on my target. If you look under the word lighting, there's the word quality, and it's not of good quality. I've, again, made it a little bit more difficult for you, and that's not what you want to do when you're engaging your son or your daughter. I did it in a cursive style font. Typically not a good thing to do. It makes it difficult to read. So if you put it in a font that's easy to read, the quality is increased immediately. Again, something to think about. Underneath that, I magnified the word magnification. Bigger is often better, not always better. Think of your son or your daughter's visual impairment. If I make things bigger, am I moving it out of their visual field? Am I making it too big for them to be able to find the target that I want them to look at? So magnification can be done in a lot of ways. There are electronic ways, like a CCTV or a closed circuit television. And then there's something as simple as distance magnification. I'm looking at all of you, you're looking at me. If you bring yourself closer to the screen that you're at, you are magnifying things. You're using distance magnification. It doesn't always have to be some electronic device. You can incorporate magnification in a lot of different ways. Underneath the word magnification, I put the word presentation. That presentation, again, is not prime. And I did this on purpose on this slide with all that I've already talked about because, again, visually, it's the easiest way to share something during a webinar. But take this into other aspects of sensory efficiency. How am I presenting it? Am I presenting it in a clear, crisp, well-contrasted font? Or am I doing it in a way with that strike through the middle of the word, making it difficult to find the word and read the word? Because you want to make it easy. You want to make it simple so that they can concentrate on what you're asking them to do and not on how hard something is so that they forget what they're being asked to do. And then underneath that, I put the word sunwear. Important in all aspects. Sunwear, whether it be a hat with a visor or just a visor outside, whether it be sunglasses or some type of sunglass alternative like flip sunglasses that you can put on a visor. Really important to consider with vision because you want to protect the eyes from the harmful rays of the sun. Some of my students actually choose to wear some type of eye sunwear in a classroom, especially as the day changes. Maybe in the morning the light's fine, but in the afternoon sun is shining through a window and making it difficult, making the glare brighter. So they may choose to wear some color of sunwear in their setting at certain times of the day. Personal preference. Look and observe your child. See what they seem to like. See what they seem to succeed with. And then build that in as often as you can while you build towards the more complex aspects of sensory efficiency. So now we've taken a look at vision. We've taken a look and considered some areas of vision. What I'd like to do is have a simulation of a visual impairment. Remember, just like with this webinar, a simulation is not the only way it can be. It simulates something. It's one way that something could happen. So what I've done is incorporate from the Academy of Ophthalmology a few different visual impairments. And it's their version, and it's a really good website. It's their version of what this type of vision impairment might start out as and could progress to. Think of your son or your daughter and what visual impairment they have, and if this is the way that they may progress, so that as you're thinking sensory efficiency, you're thinking, I should adapt to what a visual impairment might be giving them for information. So that being said, if you look at the visual impairment of glaucoma and you watch it progress, glaucoma can be a variety of things, and it's often controlled with medicine, eye drops. But sometimes they can't get the vision back to 20/20, or what people with glasses and what's called normal vision, and I put that in air quotes on purpose, what 20/20 is considered normal vision, glaucoma may not be able to be medicated with eye drops or corrected with glasses or monoculars. There may be no way to bring it back to 20/20 vision. So what you're seeing in that slide of a visual impairment simulation of glaucoma is a leading to blurriness, which can be caused by a lot of other impairments as well. And it's something to consider as you think of your son or your daughter. How do they view the world, and how can I try to make their input as successful and as easy for them as I can? So consider and think about this visual simul impairment of glaucoma, and talk to your doctor, talk to the team. Your doctor for the visual impairment itself is probably the most important after you and your child to talk to. Do you see this as being a stable condition? Is the visual impairment going to stay pretty much the same way, or could it degenerate? Could it become worse? And then adapt your sensory input accordingly. Continuing on, if you look, the next sense that I put in there was auditory. And if you think auditory, there are several areas of auditory to be aware of. The decibel level. How loud is something? And there's a formal definition regarding the wavelength of sound for decibel level, but just how loud is it? And at what level of loudness does your child seem to be bothered? Or does your child seem to like it? Because I try to look at the positive side of things. Are they liking it? Can I use that again? And can I use that information going forward into another activity? Along with that is human input. Is it a preferred human? Is it a less preferred human? And that can be changed too, just depending on their mood and your mood. And also, if you're stressed out and your voice changes because you're really stressed out, it's going to impact your son or your daughter. So remember that. If you're distracted, if you're checking your phone and you're bending down and away from them because you want to check your phone, if you're distracted, your son or your daughter can be aware of that. So human input is not just on the level of is it a familiar or unfamiliar person, but what type of human input is it from whoever is giving them auditory information. Environmental input. Where are you? Are you in a place that they feel safe? Or are you out in the community? Are you in a familiar community environment? Or are you in an unfamiliar environment? And even then, is it something like a church that you normally go to on a Sunday, but now you're there for a special event? So the sounds are different. The input is different, and you may need to lead into that experience for them, and then talk about it while you're there, and then talk about it when you leave. Talking is one of the priorities for me. Some of my family would say I talk too much, but talk about what you're experiencing. That human input of descriptions can be major in terms of being able to efficiently incorporate the sensory input they're getting. The direction of the source. Is it off to the left? Is it off to the right? Do they have any hearing issues? Do they have a visual issue on one side or the other, or top or bottom? That can make a difference as well. If it's coming from an area that they don't see, it may startle them. If it's coming from an area that they hear better, it may startle them as well. You need to look at their reactions and figure out, are they doing it because it's where they're hearing it louder? Or are they doing it because they didn't hear it coming and it startled them? Think about your son or your daughter and use that to their advantage. Next is the quality of the auditory input. And underneath that, I put clarity of input. They're kind of the same thing, but they still need to be considered. How clear is that input that you're giving them? Is it of good quality? Are you right next to a fire engine, or did you do a tape of it and you're playing it back in a different situation? How is the quality of that input, and are they really getting what I hope they're getting out of that auditory input? Then you look at interference or masking. Do they have headphones on? Again, being in the Boston area, people are starting to wear hats. Is that hat over their ears and masking some of the information that they're getting? That being said, we have some students who have a negative experience with auditory input, and they choose to wear headphones. They choose to mask the auditory input that's around them so that they can concentrate on what they're doing and be able to have a success with that. So think about all of that. And that being said, think about what the type of sound is. If you were to do something like this, is it something that they like, or is it something that they don't like? Do you want it to be led into and expected, or do you want it to be unexpected? Think simple to complex and think, my child can handle this, or maybe I should wait. So just consider auditory input as you're doing everything in your daily life, and describe what's going on so that they can learn it and then they can use it themselves. Going on to the next sense that I put in here, I put taste next. And taste is pretty self-explanatory for the most part for everyone. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it salty? Is it bitter? But that being said, think about your child. They may not think that something you think is bitter is so bitter. That might be their preferred. So think about it. If I were to hold up this Hershey's candy bar or this lemon, you may have a definite preference, but there was a while where my two boys wanted the lemon. They would cut it and slice it and squeeze some out, and they enjoyed that. So they went through that phase. Just be aware that their taste buds may not agree with your taste buds. Look at their reactions, observe them, and use the positive reactions that you see in future things that you do with them. Because that being said, last Halloween, I gave out some Lindt chocolate. And a lot of the adults said the Lindt chocolate was worth it. The Hershey's bar they passed on. Your child may not feel the same way. Look at what their taste buds seem to react positively to and use it. And then if you think in terms of another visual impairment and how that might impact, glaucoma impacted vision by blurring it, possibly leading to total blindness. If you look at the visual impairment of age-related macular degeneration, you may be thinking, but my child's young. Why does she have that slide in there? It can be the same thing for central acuity loss. There are many visual impairments that can impact a child's vision in a similar manner if you simulate it to this slide showing the loss of central vision. And when you think about that loss, you realize that they're left with their periphery. They're left with the vision that's around them. And if they're looking forward, like I'm looking at you through the camera, they wouldn't see you. So they may end up turning their head this way so that they have their field of vision where they can see you. They can use the sensory input that they're getting. It's not because they're trying to ignore you. It's not because they're trying to be rude. It's because they're trying to incorporate every sense that's available to them to be able to have a successful experience in the world around them. So think about that. Think about glaucoma. Think about your child. Do they have any vision? Do they have some vision? And how might it impact the experiences that I try to provide for them? So going on in terms of senses, think of smell. When you think of smell, you need to remember that some of the purposes for smell can include the detection of food, much like the Hershey bar versus the lemon. It could also include hazards or dangers. Are they able to detect things like food cooking on the stove and know, I'm going to stay away from the stove right now because it's hot? Are they able to detect the smell of an exhaust engine so that they know there's a car running near me? I need to be aware of that, and I need to be listening at the same time, if I can, to, is that car moving? Are they able to detect some hazards or some dangers around them through their sense of smell? And then they might be able to use their sense of smell for landmarks. Can they sense the smell of baking in the morning and use the bakery as a landmark on their way to school? Is that something you're able to talk about every day as you walk to school? Now, I'm not sure where all of you are watching from. Are you in a rural area? Are you in an urban area? Are you in the US or are you in a different country? All of that would impact your sense of smell and the smells that are around you. But you can use them, talk about them, and let your child learn them so that they can begin to independently use them, even when you're not there. You also want to think in terms of integrating the sense of smell with other senses because that can help form flavor. I don't know about some of you, but the red foil on the lint may have drawn your visual attention, and the thought of the sense of lint chocolate smell may have gotten your other sense of flavor going. It's all combined. You need to think in terms of isolating them, but know that when you provide them, they're getting more than just that one sensory input. Then you also could consider, and you're probably aware by having a medical team that you've been in contact with, but there are people who are born without the sense of smell from birth or congenital anosmia. There is also something called the decreased ability of smell or the increased ability of smell. The first is hyposmia and the second is hyperosmia. And I will add that having grown up in Wisconsin and having you listen to me for a little bit, knowing that I'm in Boston for 30 years, some words do come out a little bit differently, and you're using your auditory sense to figure out exactly what I mean. But that being said, also be aware that the sense of smell may be impacted, and your child's sense of smell may not be the same as yours. So observe and use what you observe to their benefit. And then also in terms of positive and negative olfactory input. Is what they smell good or is what they smell not good? And what I brought with me were 2 bottles of perfume. Now one is pretty well used. It's got a certain smell that my child might become used to because I use it most of the time. But someone recently gave me a different bottle called Perdona, because it has my name on it. So I may think, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to switch perfumes. That alone can throw your child off. They're used to the scent of you, whether it be your shampoo, whether it be a perfume you choose, whether it be an aftershave that you've worn for years. They're used to their sense of smell for you. And they often will use that sense, auditory sense or sense of smell, to anticipate that it's you coming towards them. So even something as simple as changing your perfume or your aftershave without mentioning it to them can throw them off. And depending on your child, you know whether or not it's easy to recover from that or not. So again, think simple to complex. Is my child able to handle me switching scents? Do I want to see what happens when I switch scents? Or should I put that off for a while? They're not ready to generalize to that point. Think of your child, think of your situation, and use the senses that you have available in a way that works in a safe manner. Moving on, we have another simulation of a visual impairment. And the visual impairment that's simulated here is the visual impairment of cataracts. Cataracts are often taken care of through surgery, but it's not always possible. Sometimes they will leave the cataracts develop to the point where it impacts their vision. So if you know that your child has cataracts, again, the eye doctor is of primary importance as a team member, but that being said, your observations are equally important, because if you notice that their functioning, their visual functioning is changing, it's possible that the cataract's developing. And this simulation shows what can happen as cataracts develop in the eye. And with this, you notice that around the lights behind the child that's in the front of this picture, there's a glare. I've already talked about glare in the vision slide. Now look at it with this and watch how it develops. What some older people who develop cataracts will compare it to is trying to look through a dirty windshield or a scratched windshield. The same can be true of scratched glasses. Be aware of that. Maybe it's not the cataracts developing, but maybe it's that they take their glasses off and set them down like this, and they've caused scratches on their lens. You need to look at all aspects of it, but you need to consider what their visual impairment is. Think about the 3 simulations that we've shared here today, which are really good. And if you look online, you'll find other examples, because no one person has the same exact experience as another person with the same diagnosis. Think of your child, observe them, and then incorporate the information that you glean from that, much like the simulation here in this cataract video. Moving on to the last sense, and again, not because it's the least important, but because it's really important to consider and keep in your mind, much like talking about that 5th sense here, the sense of touch. Touch is said to be the primary way of experiencing the world around you. Everyone incorporates touch. Much like I said earlier, not necessarily just through the fingertips, but through other parts of the body as well. Do you like people giving you hugs? Do you not like getting hugs? Do you like being in the close environment of a subway station? Do you not like being in that? The sense of touch is all around you, and you need to be aware of that and accommodate accordingly for your child. You also need to think, while you're accommodating, of the texture, the shape, the material, the size of the examples that you're learning through touch, much like the pumpkins I had in the beginning. There's a big pumpkin, there's a small pumpkin. And with that thought process, you need to think, are they learning part to whole or whole to part? And I'll go back to the pumpkins to talk about that a little more. Are they able to kind of hold that whole pumpkin and get a sense of pumpkin all at once, the whole pumpkin? Or do they need to check out parts of a pumpkin and put it together as a whole pumpkin? Think about that as you think about the touch experience that they're receiving from whatever activity you're doing. That being said, you also need to be aware too of preferred textures. I brought with me a body essential. It's from a Walmart or a Target or wherever, from their body area. One side is soft, one side is hard, or rough, I should say. What does your child prefer? I actually had a student that they figured out he liked the feel of sandpaper. So in order to do some activities with him, we would often start with a rough texture. For most kids, they're going to prefer the soft side, the cuddly side. You need to look at your child. What do they like, and incorporate that for their sense of touch. Then you go down, and the next thing that I put was fine and gross motor skills. Now, at the beginning, Laura was nice enough to mention that I was a TVI and a mobility. They're important members of your team. Those members of your team are just as important as an occupational therapist or a physical therapist, the tech specialist, all of them. You need to talk to all of them. Communication is key, both with your child and with the team. So think of fine and gross motor skills. Fine motor is typically more your finger skills. Gross motor is your full body. And then you also need to think in terms of exploration, repetition, and variation in order for your child to master each sense, not just touch. Then you go from there and you can go into more non-traditional senses. Don't just think in terms of 5 senses. There are non-traditional senses, and they include senses like proprioception, the unconscious perception of movement and spatial orientation. And along with that is some idea of what motor movement might be needed in order to move a certain way. You also have the kinesthetic sense. It's a sensation of movement, or the muscle sense that's derived from movement. It's basically strictly a movement sense. You have vestibular, the sense of balance. Are they comfortable? We have students who, if their feet are off the ground, they're uncomfortable, and any activity that you try to do with them is not going to be accomplished because their vestibular sense is thrown off. You have temperature, or thermal reception, the knowledge of the presence or absence of heat or cold. I was with a totally blind adult once coming off a New York subway. He was the only one that had been at this subway stop before. He got up to the top onto the street and realized the sun was on the wrong side because of where the heat of the sun was touching him. He knew we needed to go back down and underneath the street to the other side. That sense can be really important. And then pain, hunger, chronoreception, which is the perception of the passage of time, along with other areas, have been included by some within the sense of, or the realm of sense. Think of all of that, because again, you can isolate the 5 traditional senses, but you also need to consider all of them together along with non-traditional senses, because each thing will have an impact on the success of any activity you do with your child. So that being said, I have a few minutes left, and I wanted to go ahead and share some other thoughts. You have your child in a classroom, in a school, and that classroom talks about the fact that they are doing blocks, that they are trying to stack blocks, they are playing with blocks, they are doing different things with blocks. You think, oh, I've got a set of blocks, I'm going to do the same thing at home, but it's not successful. It may be something as simple as your set of blocks is much smaller, and if you look at this, your biggest block is only in the middle of the block sequence at school. So when you think of the non-traditional senses, and you think of how the child is trying to learn the concept of block through their senses, it's changed. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because you do want generalization, but it's something to be aware of. So you take the idea of block and you carry it further, and here's another block. This one is wood. This is cardboard. Different senses, auditory, tactual, I'm getting different senses. When I pick this block up, it's much lighter than this block, so my proprioception and kinesthetic awareness is altered accordingly. Important to provide all experiences, including the fact that here's another block going in the block. When you think about it, it's a lot of information that needs to be incorporated by your child. And then you take that and you move forward to going around the block when they're older. And you take that information of contrast and you create a map. And again, there are technology options for doing this. But that being said, this is black felt on white felt with yarn so that you can create a map of the block area in an urban environment and talk from early on to later in life. The same concepts are generalized from simple to complex and used throughout life from infancy to adulthood. And it's really important. This is just a brief synopsis. I have more here, and I'm sure anyone that you talk to, your sister, your mother, your TVI, your mobility specialist, would be more than happy to give other ideas for how you can incorporate their senses to make it a successful day for them. So that being said, I'll turn it back to Laura for right now.
Thanks, Donna. Hi, everyone. Please feel free to type your questions into the chat window. Also, if you'd rather just email me directly, you can at laura.northridge@perkins.org. As a reminder, Perkins is now accepting applications for our College Success Program. This is a 9-month residential program for blind and visually impaired high school seniors and students that have spent time in college that are planning to go to or return to a 2 or 4-year school. The program prepares students for success in college, career, and life. Students take college courses for credit at local universities. They live in a dorm and learn social and living skills. They learn assistive technology and technologies on the college campuses. They explore Boston on public transportation and have social events. And they learn about careers from blind and visually impaired professionals and get exposure to the workplace through a variety of job shadowing opportunities at Boston and Cambridge companies. To learn more, go to perkins.org/college. College success, your college experience starts here. So let's move on to questions. I can wait a few seconds for people to type in questions. And as we wait for some questions, Donna, would you like to do another demonstration?
I would love to. I brought a variety of things, and they're sitting out here on the table, and there's only so much time because there's so much information to try to put into 45 minutes. But that being said, even something as simple as a sensory exploration box, you can put whatever you want in it. This is just a simple plastic container, and I put rice in it. A lot of sensory input. I'm probably masking my voice as I do this, and it's making it a little more difficult for you to hear, which may be something you like in your home, and it may not be something you like. But that being said, maybe it's bath time, and you want to try to create a good bath time. Maybe in a sensory box filled with water. You put options in there, and I bought some bathtub crayons. If they have vision, you could have that in there. Here's some Play-Doh soap, or a box of, I use Dove, that was just what I happen to have in a box. Put these options in a sensory box and let them pick what they're going to take their bath with. Make it an exciting time for them and involve all their senses so that it's a successful experience for both of you, or all of you, as the case may be. Again, just a simple little thing. You can get these online. You can buy professional options of sensory tables, sensory kits, but it can be something as simple as things that you have in the house that you just create a sensory experience. So just something to be aware of. Are there any questions, or can I keep going?
You can keep going for now.
All right, awesome. Another thing, if you think about contrast, which I brought up before, it doesn't have to, again, be something that you purchase. This is felt. I can have black background or white background, depending on my activity. And if you look what I put on the white background, and I apologize, it was upside down. If you look at what I put on the background, it's a seasonal thing for us here in America, and it's got a jack-o'-lantern, it's got a turkey, and it's got a goose. So you can create contrast as easily as that, or white paper with black paper. You can create whatever contrast works for your child easily without spending a lot of money. And something as simple as having that choice available, like white paper or black paper, can create contrast on a tabletop and can reduce glare. Construction paper doesn't reflect light as much as some tabletops like this one actually does reflect some light. So even something as simple as putting out a piece of paper on a tabletop can help your child. And that being said, if they're able to handle the black background, that creates more of a contrast for anything that you might be doing with them. And on my paper I wrote, you want to talk to them, you want to observe them, you want to explore with them, and you want to work simple to complex. And I didn't do it on purpose, but I noticed later that the first letter of each word says toes. So you're doing it from your head to your toes. You want to do each part of it. But this is easier to find the corner of the paper on the black background than if I had a white background. You're making the task a little bit more difficult just by having less contrast available for your child to find the corner of the paper that they will likely need to start writing. So again, not a lot of money, but a big impact in terms of sensory input for your child. Along with that, you can do the same thing at the tabletop or play activities. I have, this is sometimes referred to as Dicem. You can get it in black, you can get it in white, you can get it in a multitude of colors. You can create the contrast that you want, and something like this on a tabletop will remove any sliding issues that you might have with whatever surface you're working on, so that they can grab for the target object that you're working with and go from there. So again, just color contrast is simple and easy to create. Another thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of with the block that I mentioned before that I didn't, there's the concept of open and closed. And this is commercially produced, but you can create your own if you want. You can talk about open and closed, and that can then lead into when you are walking around the block as an adult or as an older child, is the door open or closed? If you look around where you're sitting right now, is the door open or closed? How did you prefer to have it? And even with that concept of open, is it fully open or is it partially? Because if I'm traveling towards what I'm told is an open door and I bump it at an angle, my sensory input is not going to be as positive as if it were fully closed or fully open and against the wall. So think even in simple terms of that type of activity. When you're walking, I'm opening the door for you. I'm closing the door for you. The door is open. Use your words. Tell them what's going on so that they can experience it with you and then move on from there and incorporate it in their future activities. That being said, along with that is the same sensory input thought with canes. Canes come in a variety of ways. And as you start simple with the sensory box that you might put objects into, you need to take that later into what might I want to suggest or work with my mobility teacher to use to travel. Do they like rubber? Do they not? You can get canes with bicycle grips that are made of harder plastic. This is a golf grip. The harder plastic actually gets cold here in the Northeast or in Wisconsin in the winter, and sometimes that creates a negative experience. Not to say that you don't want to build up to some different experiences, but think about what you're using when you use it. Like a mobility instructor with these two, one tip is thicker, one tip is narrow. Again, it's a personal preference that from you observing as an infant through adulthood, you can figure out what might work for your child. And then one other thing that I wanted to mention, dots, Braille dots, can come in a variety of ways. You can incorporate dots in a lot of different ways to generalize. Dots to eat, dots to play with. I put some dots in vegetable oil and olive oil. You can put them on a light box and you can move them around. So you can do a lot with dots that will lead into pop a dot cell, which is the Braille cell, the 6 dots used in Braille. You can use dots, jewel gems. You can use puffy paint to create dots, and you can do a variety of activities with them. It doesn't have to be any one given thing. generalize the concept, give them a lot of sensory input so that they can incorporate it all in order to have sensory efficiency from infancy through adulthood. Laura, anything else? Because I still have more if I
Yes,
can.
you can keep going.
Awesome.
I do not have a question
All right.
yet, so
One of the other things that I brought was a sensory board, and I borrowed this from a coworker. If you look at this board, it's on a piece of cardboard and available anywhere, and it's pieces that we had available. And it was made for a specific child. You could do it for yours. You can incorporate color contrast if you want. You can incorporate texture. These are actually magnetic buttons so that you can work on different sensory input, different sounds. There's a bell up in the corner so that you could work on left to right. There are measuring cups here. The sensory information that a child can learn using something as simple as this is major. And that being said, you want to remember that you want to do things both in the horizontal and the vertical context. You want to do it on a tabletop and you want to do it upright. I was fortunate enough to be in the Philippines with a child in a wheelchair whose grandfather created something like this on a piece of plywood, attached some sticks to the back, and attached the sticks to the arms of the wheelchair so that the child would sit up and be intrigued to look forward at the things that were on the activity board. And by doing it the way that he did, these are actually glued on, but if you did it that way on a pegboard, you can change them easily based on what your child can do. So again, just simple ideas to go from infancy to adulthood to give them the opportunity to create sensory experiences that will lead to sensory efficiency.
Thanks, Donna. We have a question from Mary. Can you use smaller objects to represent larger ones? For instance, a toy horse to represent a real horse, a large horse.
Again, it's going to depend on the child that you're with, but it is one way, thinking back to when I mentioned parts to whole or whole to part. For a lot of things, it's difficult to give the real object. An airplane is another one. It's pretty hard to give the real airplane. So yes, you can give them at least the concept of what this is, and then try to see if you can create an excursion to the farm for this example, and have the real piece as well, so that you can start out small and then go larger. So again, it's going to depend on your child whether you think they're capable of doing that conceptual leap.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have any other questions? Do you want to do one more?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to add some more, and that's where it's hard to condense it into 45 minutes. But I mentioned dots. Another thing that you can do, if you have a boy and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to use jeweled dots, my son won't like that. What I have here are Hot Wheel tracks, just the orange tracks that you can get anywhere. They actually have some really neat car tracks now that light up. So if your child has vision, you can incorporate that. But you can take this out and you could have a car on it, moving left to right like you would with Braille. You can do a lot of things incorporating something as common as Hot Wheel tracks with cars. That being said, you can take it a step further. And if I were to get these dots and take one off and put it here, I can start to create the feel of left to right motion with dots that will stick to the Hot Wheel track. So I could have my child start on the left and move to the right, which incorporates those non-traditional senses I was talking about. You're getting touch, you might be getting auditory, you might let them run their car across the dots because they're going to feel it differently as the car bumps into the dots. But that being said, then take the car away, start on the left, and have them move their fingers left to right and see if they can pick up where the dots are. Then you could even lead into putting the dots to form a Braille letter. So you're incorporating the sense, you're incorporating the knowledge that they're using from infancy to adulthood in a different way to give them more sensory input in order to lead to sensory efficiency in all aspects of life. Because much like I said when I showed the vision slide and said it's not just visually related, it can be related to other senses, that's true of all of the activities here. Adapt them for your environment, adapt them for what you're doing, and then give them a successful time with you so that you can build on it from there. Again, simple to complex, familiar to unfamiliar, simple to or general is last. Start with what's known and build for sensory efficiency.
Thanks, Donna, and thank you to everyone for joining us today. A link to the webinar will be emailed to you and will be available on Perkins' website shortly. Please join us in the new year for our next installment in our Learning with Blindness series. In the meantime, you can catch up with any of the webinars that you may have missed at perkins.org/ECC. If you have any questions or ideas for topics that you'd like us to cover, please email me at laura.northridge@perkins.org. I look forward to hearing your ideas and your feedback. Have a great rest of your day.